Today's lesson is entitled again, Bridle the Tongue. Bridle the tongue. Because like I said earlier, some of the things servants of God shouldn't be saying out of their mouths. And you know, we all have been guilty of this. We all have been guilty of this. We say things out of our mouths and you know, we want to try to take it back, but you know, but it's already out of your mouth. It's just like when you in a courtroom and the plaintiff, he says something, or the defendant says something, and then they try to take it back. Well, the court is already, the jury has already heard it. So it's gone out of your mouth already. And so the jury's heard it, and then, you know, the Lord is hearing what comes out of our mouths. And he is the final judge. So we're going to start this lesson off, though. We're going to start this lesson off in Jeremiah, the 17th chapter, Jeremiah 17. Because before you say something, most times, because some people say things, they don't even think about it, and then they start saying it. But most times, when things come out of your mouth, it crosses your mind first. Then it comes out of your mouth. So that's where we're going to start at, with the mind. Or with, as the Bible calls it sometimes, the heart. So we're going to Jeremiah 17 and 9. Jeremiah 17 and 9. And you know, we hear that word, that thing about sticks and stones. When we were little, sticks and stones might break my bones, but names will never hurt me. That's a lie. That was a lie, because words do hurt. You let somebody call you the wrong name, words do hurt. We're at Jeremiah 17 and 9. Jeremiah 17 and 9. We're going to start with the mind or the heart. Go ahead and read it.
The heart is deceitful above all things.
Now you see that? He said this heart what heart are we talking? We're not talking about this heart right here, because this heart right here only pumps blood. It doesn't think, it doesn't do anything except pump blood. So you know, I'm going to do what my heart leads me to do, not this heart. This heart right here not leading you to do anything but stay alive. It's only pumping blood. Start that over again.
The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
So which heart are we talking about? We got to be talking about your mind right here. And we're going to show you that. Verse 10, go ahead and read it.
I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways, and according to the fruit of his doings.
Now, so he said this heart, this mind is desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the heart, and I try to raise, even to give every man according to the fruit, according to his ways, and according to the fruits of his doings. So the Lord is watching us all. He's watching what's coming out of your mouth. He's watching your feet. All of this. Let's go to 1 Chronicles, the 28th chapter. 1 Chronicles 28. 1 Chronicles 28. See, people have to recognize you as being different from everybody else. And you know how they can tell when you're not different from everybody else? They listen to, one of the ways they can tell is what comes out of your mouth. That's one of the ways they can tell. So you ain't no different from the regular guy on the street. You saying the things that he's saying and doing the things that they're doing. We're at 1 Chronicles 28, 1 Chronicles 28 and 2. 1 Chronicles 28 and 2. Go ahead and read it.
Then David the king stood up upon his feet and said, Hear me, my brethren and my people. As for me, I had in my heart to build a house of rest for the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and for the footstool of our God. And had made ready for the building. But God said unto me, Thou shalt not build an house for my name, because thou hast been a man of war, and hast shed blood. Howbeit, the Lord God of Israel chose me before all the house of my father to be king over Israel forever. For he hath chosen Judah to be the ruler, and of the house of Judah, the house of my father.
See, David was king over all Israel. He was king over all Israel. So he had chosen Judah to be the ruler. Go ahead and read.
And among the sons of my father, he liked me to make me king over all Israel. And of all my sons, for the Lord hath given me many sons, he had chosen Solomon, my son, to sit upon the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Israel. And he said unto me, Solomon thy son, he shall build my house and my courts. For I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father.
Skip to verse 9. Skip to verse 9. Go ahead and read.
And thou, Solomon my son, know thou the God of thy father, and serve him with a perfect heart.
Now you see that? He said, know thou the God of thy fathers. Serve him with a perfect heart. Go ahead and read. Is he talking about this heart in your chest? We're going to show you. And thou, Solomon, my son, know thou the God of thy father, and serve him with a perfect heart.
And with a willing mind.
And with a willing mind. Because see, God's not going to force you to do this. He's not going to force you to serve him. He's not going to force you to speak those things which he told you to speak. And tell you that make you not speak the things that you're not supposed to speak. Go ahead and read.
And the Lord searcheth all hearts.
Wait a minute. And the Lord searcheth all hearts. He searcheth all hearts. What is this heart he's talking about? We're going to show you. It's the mind. He searcheth all hearts. That's how he knows who to put in the fire and who not to put in the fire. Because he's searching the hearts and he's looking at what you're doing and what you're not doing. Otherwise, how would he know who to put in the fire and who not to put in the fire if he wasn't watching you? He's got those 7 spirits going to and fro through the earth and walking up and down the earth watching us. Go ahead and read.
The Lord searcheth all hearts and understandeth all the imaginations of the thoughts. If thou seek him. See, because when the Lord returns, he's not gonna even hear what comes out of your mouth. He's gonna look in your mind and see what's on your mind and judge you according to your thoughts. So you ain't gonna have to say nothing. He's gonna see that you're thinking crazy or you're thinking righteously. Go ahead and read. Read that verse over. Start that verse over. 9. And thou, Solomon, my son, know the God of thy father, and serve him with a perfect heart, with a willing mind.
Go ahead.
For the Lord searcheth all hearts, and understandeth all the imaginations of the thoughts. If thou seek him, he will be found of thee. But if thou forsake him, he will cast thee off forever.
Man, you do not want to get cast off forever. Man. Verse 10, go ahead.
Take heed now, for the Lord hath chosen thee to build an house for the sanctuary.
But you see what he said? He said he tried to search the heart of all hearts and understanding all imaginations of the thoughts. God does this. Man, that is really something. He knows what everybody's thinking. Let's go now. Let's go. That's deep right there. Let's go to Proverbs 23rd chapter. Proverbs 23. And we're going to pick it up at verse 6. Proverbs 23 and 6. He knows what everybody is thinking. Look at what the Bible is saying. Proverbs 23 and 6. Go ahead and read it.
Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. For as he thinketh in his heart. For as he thinketh in his heart, as he's thinking, so is he. So is he. So whatever you thinking, that's what's going to come out of your mouth. Most times. Whatever you thinking, it's going to cause you to sin a lot of times. Because it comes here first. Then you perform it, whether you saying it or whether you perform it with your hands or your feet. Go ahead and read. Eat and drink, saith he to thee. But his heart is not with thee.
But his heart is not with thee. What did he keep talking about this heart right here? We're going to show you what heart we are dealing with right here. Go ahead and read.
The morsel which thou hast eaten shalt thou vomit up, and lose thy sweet words.
Go ahead.
Speak not in the ears of a fool.
You see that? He said, don't speak in the ears of a fool.
For he will despise the wisdom of thy words.
He will So, you know, a lot of times you talk to people and they just come up with foolish stuff. You know, you reading it to them, they call themselves reading the Bible and understand the Bible, and you read them something and then they just talk crazy. He said, don't even be bothered with it. He said, speak not in the ears of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of thy words. And that's just like what Jesus said. Don't cast your pearls before swine. See, I really need to hear this lesson myself. If y'all ain't hearing it, I am. Skip down to verse 12. Skip down to verse 12. Go ahead and read it.
Apply thine heart unto instruction, and thine ears to the words of knowledge.
See, this is what you want to apply your ears to. Knowledge. Knowledge. And so for you to apply your ears to knowledge, that means you got to keep your mouth closed, don't you? Let's go now. Let's go to Psalms, the 12th chapter. Psalms 12. Excuse me. That air. Psalms 12. Psalms 12, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Psalms 12 and 1. So we're going to find out what this heart is real quick that we were just reading about. Psalms 12 and 1. Go ahead and read it.
Help, Lord, for the godly man ceaseth. For the faithful fail from among the children of men. They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor.
Go ahead.
With flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak.
You see that? With flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak. Now, what does he mean by double heart? Does men have two hearts? I've never seen anybody with two hearts. So now, what is he talking about? They speak vanity. We know what that means. They speak vanity, everyone with his neighbor. They mean they speaking about nothing, right? With flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak. What is this double heart that he is talking about? Go ahead and read.
3. The Lord shall cut off all flattering lips, and the tongue that speaketh proud things.
And we're going to find out. This is one of the things that the Lord hates. Is pride. This prideful person. Start that over.
The Lord shall cut off all flattering lips, and the tongue that speaketh proud things.
Go ahead.
Who have said, with our tongue will we prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is Lord over us?
You know how people say, I can say what I want, grown. I can say what I want to say. Israel got that bad. You can't tell me what to say. I'm wrong. But he said, who have said, our tongue will we prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is Lord over us? You can't tell me what to do. Say what I want to say. Let's go now. See, you can tell who the children of Israel. A lot of little things you hear, you read in here to be the same thing that we say. Let's go to James, the first chapter. James, the first chapter. And we're going to pick it up at verse 5. James 1 and 5. You got to be careful of what comes out of your mouth. Because you can say whatever you want to say, but there's a price to pay for it. There's a price to pay for it. Do you know that men are going to be judged by every word that comes out of their mouth?
Every word.
Every word that comes out of your mouth. See, I need to hear this. I need to hear this because people get me upset in a minute, and then I got to try to walk away, get away from them. Because, like Moses, when he brought the children of Israel out of Egypt, and then they were murmuring for water. So Moses was like, must we give you water? Drink, you rebels. And the Lord looked at him like, what? Oh, you giving them water, Moses? Not me, but you giving it to them, right? You and Aaron. He said, for this, you will not be stepping foot in the land. So you can't, you got to be careful letting people get you upset and things come out of your mouth. James 1 and 5. James 1 and 5. Go ahead and read it.
If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God,
Mm-hmm.
that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, not wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord.
Go ahead.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Oh, so that double-hearted man is actually a double-minded man. And that's what the Bible means when it calls a man double-hearted. It means that he is double-minded, which means that he can't get his thoughts together. One week he's saying one thing, the next week he's saying something else. Does everybody understand what this means?
Amen.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. He can't get his thoughts together. One week he's talking real good, the next week he's talking crazy. He is double-minded. Let's go now. That's what a double-hearted man is, a double-minded man. So everybody understands now which heart we are dealing with. We are dealing with your mind, not the one that pumps the blood in your chest. Let's go now. Let's go to Matthew, the 12th chapter. Matthew 12. And we're going to get back to that heart in a minute. Matthew 12. Because like I said earlier, don't you know that you're going to be judged by every word that comes out of your mouth? Matthew 12 and 35. Matthew 12 and 35. Everybody got it?
Amen.
Glad to see everybody come out today.
Praise the Lord.
Go ahead and read it.
A good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things. And an evil man of an evil treasure bringeth forth evil things. But I say unto you, that every idle word that man shall speak, they shall give account thereof.
See, if you're thinking good thoughts, that's what's going to come out. That's what's going to come out of your mouth. If you're thinking evil thoughts all the time, that's what's going to come out of your mouth. And that's what you are going to perform. Read that verse 35 one more time.
A good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things. And an evil man out of an evil treasure bringeth forth evil things.
Keep reading.
But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
Oh, you don't give, see, so in order for you to give an account, right, and you be judged on every idle word, the Lord has to know what's coming out of your mouth. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. Lord, going to look at you and say, remember you said this and you said that. Why did you say that, son? And you're going to give an account for it one day. Verse 37, go ahead.
For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned.
See, by your words you're going to be cleared of guilt. And on the same token, by your words thou shalt be condemned. So whatever comes out of your mouth, if it's good thing, you might want to take note to that. That's pretty serious right there. You're going to be judged by what comes out of your mouth? Let's look up. I went on this called vocabulary.com, and it says idle words. So what are idle words? Go ahead, Rob.
Idle words, empty rhetoric, or insincere or extravagant talk. Jazz, malarkey, nothingness.
Exaggerate. It says empty rhetoric or insincere, exaggerated talk. Lying, in other words. You're exaggerating things. When you exaggerate, you're pretty much lying. Yeah. So now he's going to give you some synonyms of this idle words. Go ahead. What did it say?
Jazz, malarkey.
You talking jazzy. You know how we say something. Man, he talking jazzy with his mouth. And then, we malarkey, speaking malarkey, or talking malarkey. Go ahead.
Nothingness, wind.
You see, you're not talking about nothing. You know how we say that? Go ahead and read.
The example?
Yeah, read an example.
But they're all just idle words, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Signifying what?
Nothing.
So, you're going to be judged by these idle words that come out of your mouth. And he said exaggerated talk. So when you exaggerate, you pretty much lying. You embellishing. So now, let's go to 1 Timothy, the 5th chapter, 1 Timothy 5. Don't worry, because we're going to get to the meat of this in a minute. We just, touching the surface right now. 1 Timothy 5 and 11. 1 Timothy 5 and 11. First Timothy 5 and 11. Go ahead and read.
But the younger widows refuse.
Uh-huh.
For when they have begun to wax wanton against Christ, they will marry.
Go ahead.
Having damnation because they have cast off their first faith. And withdraw, they learn to be idle.
See, and he said, and with all they learn to be idle,
wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers.
Not only idle, but tattlers. You know what tattlers are? You're always in somebody else's business. And not only that, she said she a young lady, and she going about from house to house, starting mess. You know them. Got to come over your house all the time. Just, girl, I got something to tell you. And men too. Man, did you hear about so-and-so the other? Always telling somebody's business. Read that verse again.
And withdraw, they learn to be idle. Wandering from house to house. And not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not.
See, busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. Now, we're going to get back to the tattler in a minute. We're going to get back to him in a minute. Let's go to James, the 5th chapter. James 5. We're going to get back to the tattler in a minute because the Bible called him something else in the Old Testament. He called a talebearer in the Old Testament. So we're going to get back to him in a minute. Or her. Or whichever one you want to call it. Let's go down. Let's go to James, the 3rd chapter. James 3. James 3, and we're going to pick it up at verse 2. James 3, and we're going to pick up at verse 2. Go ahead and read it.
For in many things we offend all.
See, you can't please nobody. When it comes to the word of God, you can't. Somebody's going to get offended. I don't care if they're a Muslim. I don't care if they're another Israelite. I don't care if they're a Roman Christian. You're going to offend somebody with the word of God. They get offended. For in many things we offend all.
If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect
man. See, if you don't offend somebody, you're a perfect man. Because with the word of God, somebody's going to get offended. Go ahead and read.
And able also to bridle the whole body.
So he's not only able to bridle his tongue, he's able to bridle the whole body. See, you don't offend somebody because the word of God is going to be offensive to somebody. You're going to say something one day that's going to offend them. So if you don't, then you're a perfect man and also able to bridle the whole body. Skip to verse 5. Go ahead.
Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth.
Go ahead.
And the tongue is a fire, a word of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defile the whole body.
See what the tongue does? It defiles your whole body. You let things come out of your mouth. First of all, because Jesus told you about over in Matthew, I think that's the 7th chapter. What is not what that goes in a man that defiles a man. What comes out of a man defiles a man with thievery and adulteries and all these sins come out of you. But it starts right here. And in this case, what we're reading about, it comes out of your mouth. And this defiles the whole body. You look, women look beautiful, right? You let some of them start talking. And you see that defiles their whole person. It's looking at her, she's beautiful, man, but she got a jacked up personality, boy. Her mind is jacked up. And we know that because her mouth is doing this. Same thing with a guy. She can say the same thing with him.
Right.
I never met a man that talks so much. So you got, but some people are going to be offended when you talk to them about the Word of God. And so he said, you know what? If you don't offend somebody, you're a perfect man. You're able to bridle the whole body. Read that verse 5 again. Go ahead and read it.
Even so, the tongue is a little member.
It's a little member. Go ahead and read.
And boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire.
Don't you know there's a lot of humps in the ground because of the tongue? There's a lot of humps in the ground because you say that one more time, man, and then we're going to be fighting and then somebody gets killed or something. Or somebody says something, or somebody gets shot or whatever. There's a lot of humps in the ground because of the tongue. Wars are started because of the tongue. You let Trump keep talking about North Korea and Kim Jong-un and see don't they start going back and forth and one day it's going to be a war. All because of the tongue. Nobody slapped nobody or nothing. They just talking back and forth. That tongue, boy, is something. Go ahead, verse 6.
And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity.
A world of iniquity,
So is the tongue among our members, that it defiles the whole body.
It defiles the whole body. It defiles, don't you know people don't want to talk to you? If you got a foul mouth, people don't want to talk to you. Or you might get somebody with a foul mouth, they might want to talk to you, but most times people don't want to talk to you. That's why now I learned, boy, when I was young, they run my mouth. But now when I go up in businesses, I don't say nothing. Just, hey, here's the bill, late. Can you sign it? And let me go. I ain't got nothing to argue with you about.
Amen.
Go ahead and read.
And setteth on fire the course of nature. And it is set on fire of hell. 7. For every kind of beast, and of bird, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tamed, and nothing been tamed of mankind.
Now he said, look, for every kind of beast and of birds and of serpents and of things in the sea is tamed, and have been tamed of mankind. Man can tame animals. Fish. Look at the orca whale that's been trained to jump through hoops and swim through the water and stop right here and lift people up, all these things. But this tongue right here, no man can tame it. You are the one that's got to tame your own tongue. Because nobody else can tame your tongue. You have to tame your tongue. Go ahead and read.
Hey. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil.
It is an unruly evil. Sometimes it goes off course. This tongue gets off course when it's talking to other people. It is unruly evil,
full of deadly poison.
You let somebody say the wrong thing to you. Let somebody say something wrong to you. You be ready to fight. This tongue is full of deadly poison. Go ahead and read.
Therewith bless we God, even the Father, and wherewith curse we men.
We say you're going to bless God and then you're going to curse men? Go ahead and read.
Which are made after the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessings and cursings. My brethren, these things ought not be so.
These things ought not to be. Blessings and cursings coming out of the same mouth. Go ahead and read.
Doeth a fountain send forth the same sweet water and bitter? Can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries? Neither a vine figs.
He said a fig tree, it don't bear olives. He said, can a fig tree, my brother, bear olive berries? Either a vine fig? Go ahead and read.
So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh.
See, when you go to a fountain, you're either going to get some sweet water there or some bitter water. Not both. So that's telling me right there that I shouldn't be saying things out of my mouth. You can't speak things good and bless God and then turn around and curse men. And I need to hear this. James, let's go to James, the first chapter, James 1. Because I tell you, boy, people been getting on my nerve this week. Man, people been getting on my nerves this week. James 1 and 26. James 1 and 26. It's like I was a magnet for it this week. Got a ticket, man. They was giving tickets already. He just happened to catch me. Didn't have my seatbelt on. He jumped up in my truck and I'm looking at him. I just shut my mouth. He's like, you seem like you're a nice guy. So he just gave, because he could have made it worse for me. He could have went around my truck and found this wrong and that wrong and this wrong. He jumped up in my truck, just shut my mouth. Yes, sir, officer. Here's my registration. Here's my license. What else you need? I start bang, bang, handling everything. Well, I got to get this guy for something. So he got me for a seatbelt. You gonna go to court for a seatbelt? Yeah. He's like, a seatbelt? I got a little upset, but I kept my mouth closed. I got a little upset, but I kept my mouth closed. And I'm gonna show you somebody like that in a minute. We had James 1 and 26. I'll tell you what, a rough week. James 1 and 26. Go ahead and read it.
If any man among you seem to be religious, and believeth not and bridle not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain.
See, if any man among you seemeth to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. So if you don't bridle your tongue, let me show you what it means by bridle the tongue. If you don't know how to control this tongue, you are deceiving yourself. That's what you're doing. You're deceiving yourself. You have to know how to control this tongue. This tongue is something else, man, I tell you. Like I said, it gets people killed. Let's go now. Let's go to Psalms the 39th chapter, Psalms 39. Psalms 39, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Psalms 39 and 1. Let's show you what it means by bridle this tongue. Because you won't get mad. That's a God-given emotion that you're going to have. You're going to get mad. You're going to get upset. But you have to watch what comes out of your mouth, because you're going to be judged by it. Amen. Psalms 39 and 1. Psalms 39 and 1. Everybody got it?
Amen.
Go ahead and read it.
I said, I will take heed to my ways.
See, I'm going to take heed to my ways, because you're the only one that can tame this tongue. So you got to take heed to your own ways. And not only that, you're going to be judged according to your ways and the fruits of your doings. He said, I will take heed to my ways.
That I sin not with my tongue.
That I do what?
I sin not with my tongue.
Did you know you can sin with your tongue? That's why Job said, the book talking about Job, how Job, he did not sin with his tongue or speak against the Lord with his tongue. Because you can sin with your tongue. Go ahead and read.
I will keep my mouth with a bridle.
I will keep my mouth with a bridle. I'm going to keep my mouth with a bridle. In other words, I'm going to put a constraint on my tongue. You know, like you put a bridle on a horse. I'm going to keep a constraint on my tongue. And you know the way you keep a constraint on your tongue? Shut your mouth. Just close your mouth. That's how you put a bridle on your tongue. But look at what else he said. Go ahead and read.
I will keep my mouth with a bridle while the wicked is before me.
Go ahead.
I was dumb with silence.
I was dumb with silence. You know how people just talk, bark. You know how little chihuahua here up in the big dog's face, and he barking at him in his face, and the big dog just standing there looking at him. You know, some of the dogs just grab him up, and you know, but most times the big dog just sitting there looking at him while he's sitting there. And that's how you have to do a lot of times. People up in your face talking stuff, you just look and you say, I was done with silence. Go ahead and read.
I was dumb with silence.
Uh-huh.
I held my peace.
Go ahead.
Even from good.
Uh-huh.
And my sorrow was stirred up.
Go ahead.
My heart was hot within me.
You see that? He said, my heart was hot within my mind. I was burning up. I was on fire. I was mad. Start that verse again, brother.
My heart was hot within me.
Uh-huh.
While I was mused, the fire burned.
He said, while I was mused, the fire burned. Let me show you what this muse means in a minute. Go ahead and read.
Then spake I with my tongue.
He said, then I speak with my tongue, because he was calm for a minute. He was mad first. Then he calmed himself down, because you know how it is. Somebody say something to you, then you right back at them. Word for word, tit for tat. But he said, look, I was dumb with silence, and I held my peace, even from good, and my sorrow was stirred up. He said, I didn't even say nothing good to the person. A lot of times you hear that old saying, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. He just didn't say nothing at all. He said, my heart was hot within me. While I was musing, the fire burned. Then I spake with my tongue. Let's find, what does this word musing mean? You know how we just go over words, we don't even know the definition, we just go over them.
Right. Count the time.
Just count to 10. Go ahead and read. What does muse mean?
Muse.
Uh-huh.
To consider thoughtfully.
See, that's what he did. He stopped. He didn't rail evil for evil. He stopped and he considered the matter. Go ahead and read.
To consider thoughtfully or at length. Ponder, meditate.
You see that? Ponder. He meditated for a minute. He didn't start running off at the mouth like the other guy was doing. Although he said I was hot. I was mad. But I was done with silence. Go ahead and read.
It says to stay with muzzled in.
Oh, you see that? No, Bridle The Tongue, he says to stay with muzzle
in the ear.
You see, he muzzled himself. He muzzled his mouth. Just like you bridle that tongue, he muzzled his mouth. Then he said, I spoke unto them. He calmed himself down, muzzled himself, and then he spoke. I mean, that's kind of hard to do sometimes, ain't it? Because somebody come to you talk crazy and everything, boy, you want to get right back at them.
Right back at 'em.
But you want to bridle that tongue, though. You got to bridle that tongue. Because you might say something that's offensive to God. Now you're in trouble. They go about their business. Now you're in trouble with God. Let's go now. Let's go to Proverbs 15. Proverbs 15. Does everybody understand what we're reading here today?
Amen.
Proverbs 15. Proverbs 15. We're dealing with this mouth today. We're dealing with this mouth. Proverbs 15. Like I said, if y'all don't need to hear it, I need to hear it.
Amen.
Because I've been wanting to go off this. Let me be quiet. Proverbs 15. And we will pick it up at verse 1. Proverbs 15 and 1. And you got that certain person that pushes your buttons.
All the time.
You know that certain person that pushes your button. It ain't got to be your spouse. This could be somebody else that just push your buttons.
Same person.
Proverbs 15 and 1. Proverbs 15 and 1. Go ahead and read it.
A soft answer turneth away wrath.
Woo! See, he was mused, and while he was mused, he muffled himself. He was hot. He said, after I was mused, then I spake. So he said, a soft answer turneth away wrath.
But grievous words stir up anger.
So if he came back out and started talking tit for tat, then we might have a fight, because two men start going back and forth. If it ain't nobody to hold them back, then they might start fighting. And somebody gonna get hurt. He said, well, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger.
The tongue of the wise uses knowledge aright.
Go ahead.
But the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good.
See, that's how the Lord knows who to put in the fire and who not to put in the fire. He knows to judge every man after their words. Because the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good.
The wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach in the spirit.
See, a wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness there is a breach in the spirit. You got a problem up here. If you don't know when to shut your mouth, if you don't know how to conduct your mouth to edify somebody instead of going off on them all the time, speaking things and saying things that you should not, there's a breach in the spirit. Something wrong with the mind up here. Let's go now. Let's go to Proverbs the 11th chapter. Proverbs 11. Proverbs 11. And we're going to pick it up at verse 3. Let's back up to Proverbs 11 and 3. We're going to pick it up at verse 2. Go ahead.
2?
Uh-huh.
When pride cometh, then cometh shame. But with the lowly is wisdom.
Now he said, with pride cometh, when pride cometh, then cometh shame. Because see, this one, we're going to read it, this one of the things that the Lord hates, pride. When pride cometh, then cometh shame. But with the lowly is wisdom. The ones that humble themselves, those are the ones that come with wisdom. And boy, I can tell you, boy, I used to be a hothead, man. I done slowed down a lot. I mean, I'm talking about I used to go up in churches, hothead.
Amen.
And get kicked out. One case, I was running out there one time. Boy, said, my preacher had you running out there. I said, oh, she will? First of all, you got to be with a woman preacher, but she will? I said, well, if something happened, do you have my back? What you mean, do I got your back? I said, yeah. If something happened, you got my back. Man, went up in there. She got the hollering, talking about we living in a day of arrest right now. I said, I jumped up, hey. If I put a pit bull by you, stand by that pit bull gonna tear you up. She grabbed that podium, started shaking it, who are you? And started hollering. People started jumping up, hollering and crying and stuff. I'm looking around, what happened, man? Shoot, man, I got my coat and my hat. My wife was like, come on, let's go. Let's get out of here. I was getting it down them stairs, boy. Seen that guy the next day. I said, you're right. She had me running out of there, boy. I tell you what, I had some times, boy. We at Proverbs 11 and 3. I don't do that no more. They might want to lay hands on me now. Proverbs 11 and 3. Go ahead and read it.
The integrity of the upright shall guide them. But the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them.
See, if you have some integrity, you got some righteousness and some integrity, that's what's going to guide you. And you get that righteousness and that integrity from the Word of God. He said, integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. If you got a perverse tongue, and you sinning against God, that's what's going to destroy you. Not only are you going to have a bad life while you're living here, but the Lord going to wake you up and destroy you for eternity. That's what we're dealing with. I know we talk about the tongue and everything, but this is what we're dealing with right here is very important as being a servant of God. It is very important. What comes out of your mouth? What verse you at?
4.
Let's go now. Go ahead and read. Go ahead and read.
Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death.
See, no matter how much money you have, you can take all the gold in the world and set it like Master Musa. He was the richest man in the world at one time. An African guy, Master Musa. And he was the richest man ever, they said. But he could take all his riches and set them right before God and say, let me in the kingdom. You know what the Lord going to do? He's going to have the angels move that gold out the way and say, come on in here. You're going in the fire. You understand? So riches are not going to profit you in the day of wrath, but righteousness shall deliver from death. Go ahead and read.
5. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his ways. But the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness.
He's going to fall by his own wickedness. Verse 6, go ahead and read it.
The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them. But the transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness.
They're going to be taken in their own naughtiness. That's just sin right there. You okay, sister? Okay. All right. Maybe we can turn that air up a little bit so it don't get cold in here. Is it too cold in here for y'all? Y'all okay?
Good.
All right. All right. Now, let's go now. Let's go to 1 Samuel, the 31st chapter. Let's go to because look at this guy right here. First, we're gonna look at the death of Saul real quick. 1 Samuel 31, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 1. 1 Samuel 31 and 1. Now look at this guy right here. First of all, we're gonna look at how Saul died. All right, and then we're gonna look at this man who said he killed Saul. So let's go to 1 Samuel 31 and pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead and read. Go ahead and read.
Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines, and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa.
Go ahead.
And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his son, and the Philistines slew Jonathan.
Now that's Saul's son, Jonathan, right there. So he got killed.
And Abadad and Melchishua, Saul's sons.
These are all Saul's sons right here. The Philistines killed them. And Jonathan and David, man, they were like this. Do you know you got a brother saying that they must have been funny because the book said that he loved, David and Jonathan loved each other past women. I'm like, some people's minds are perverse, just sick, But go ahead and read.
3. And the battle went sore against Saul. And the archers hit him.
Now the archers hit Saul, right? And keep this in mind. The archers hit Saul.
And he was sore wounded of the archers.
Go ahead.
Then said Saul unto his armor bearer.
Now the Philistines were the ones that were fighting against Saul. So their archers hit him. And now he's wounded. And now here comes Saul's armor bearer. Go ahead and read.
Draw thy sword and thrust me through therewith.
Now Saul is telling his armor bearer, kill me, in other words. Thrust me through. Go ahead and read.
Lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me. But his armor bearer would not.
So his armor bearer like, no. Because Saul asked him to go ahead and kill me. You see that on the movie sometimes. You see the guy, the guy wounded, kill me, and then they go off and kill him. But his armor bearer was like, no, I'm not killing you. I'm not going to do that. He understood something. This is the Lord's anointed right here. I'm not getting ready. He's going to die on his own. Or they going to come get him and kill him, because I'm not going to kill you. But go ahead and read.
But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore,
see, he had some sense. He was sore afraid.
Therefore, Saul took a sword and fell upon him.
So now who killed Saul?
Saul.
He killed himself. His armor bearer was like, no, I'm not killing you. And so Saul's like, skip it, and killed himself. What does verse 6 say?
6. So Saul died, and his 3 sons, and his armor bearer, and all his men. That same.
I'm sorry, pick it up at verse 5. I'm sorry. What did his armor bearer do? Go ahead.
And when his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword and died with him.
Now look, his armor bearer killed himself. Since his master got killed, he said, look, I'm going with you. You know how some people are. Somebody died, I'm going with you, but then they don't go with him.
Right.
So, but this guy did. This guy died with Saul. Verse 6, go ahead.
So Saul died, and his 3 sons.
This guy here was a faithful man. This is a faithful soldier right here. I don't know if I would have did. They had to come get me. But I'm not going to kill myself. So Saul died, and his 3 sons,
and his armor bearer, and all his men that same day together.
Now, so we see that the Philistines killed Saul. Now the Philistines shot Saul and wounded him. Then he turned around, killed himself. Then, well, they killed his sons. The Philistines killed his sons. Then they shot Saul, wounded him. Then he fell on his own sword, killed himself. Then his armor bearer, killed himself. Everybody got this, right?
Amen.
Now, let's go into 2 Samuel, the 1st chapter. And we're going to pick it up in verse 1. 2 Samuel 1 and 1. Go ahead and read it.
Now it came to pass after the death of Saul, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode 2 days in Ziklag. It came even to pass on the 3rd day that, behold, a man came out of the camp of Saul with his clothes rent and earth upon his head. And so it was when he came to David that he fell to the earth and did obeisance.
Now he coming. Your Majesty, Your Majesty. He coming, clothes torn up, right? Dirt on him. Your Majesty, right? Paying obeisances to David. Now look at what happened. Go ahead.
And David said unto him, From whence comest thou? And he said unto him, Out of the camp of Israel am I escaped.
He said, I'm escaped. Well, we read that all of them got killed, right? So he said, I came out of the camp of Israel. Now he had to be watching something. You understand? Well, he wasn't in the camp of Israel because the Israelites got killed. Saul and his men got killed. Right? Go ahead and read.
And David said unto him, How went the matter?
So what happened, man? Go ahead and read.
I pray thee, tell me. And he answered, That the people are fled from the battle, and many of the people also are fallen and dead. And Saul and Jonathan and his son are dead also. And David said unto
So he saw something, because he knew that all the Saul and his sons were dead. So he knew something. He saw something. But go ahead.
And David said unto the young man that told him, How knowest thou that Saul and Jonathan his son be dead? And the young man that told him said, As I happened by chance upon Mount Gilboa, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots and horsemen followed hard after him.
See that? The Philistines wanted him. Didn't we read that? The Philistines wanted him. What verse you at?
7. And when he looked behind him, he saw me and called unto me.
Stop right there. Did anybody see? Did we read any of that? We didn't read none of that. Saul fell, he got wounded, and then told his arm bearer to fall. So he hadn't been standing still. So he said, Fall upon his arm bearer, fall upon me, but his arm bearer wouldn't. So this guy is doing what now?
Lying.
He's lying. Start at verse 7 again.
And when he looked behind him, he saw me and called unto me. And I answered, Here am I.
See, he's lying because he thinks David is going to reward him for this now. So he's lying. Go ahead and read.
And he said unto me, Who art thou? And I answered him, I am an Amalekite.
Go ahead.
And he said unto me again, Stand, I pray thee, upon me, and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me.
Who did he actually kill him? His armor bearer. Where you see this man? He had to be looking around like, yeah. He getting his story together for when he go back to go tell David. But he's lying. Boy, this guy's a good liar, ain't he? Verse 10, go ahead and read. Bear that false witness. Go ahead.
So I stood upon him and slew him.
This guy has no integrity and no uprightness. Only thing he had to go and to tell David was, look, I saw the whole matter. This is what happened. He got wounded by the Philistines, and then he asked his arm bearer to kill him, but his arm bearer wouldn't, so he fell upon his own sword and killed himself. And then his arm bearer turned around and killed himself. And I escaped for my life. And now here I am, Your Majesty. But he's thinking he's going to get a reward. Didn't turn out like they get the reward, all right, but it ain't the one he wants. Go ahead, read. What verse you at?
10. So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head, and the bracelet that was upon his arm, and had brought them hither to unto my Lord.
So now, I killed him and everything, and got the crown off his head, and the bracelet and all that, and I'm bringing him to you, David, my Lord. Verse 11, go ahead.
Then David took hold on his clothes and rent them.
Now David, he snatched his clothes. But remember, Saul was actually trying to kill David.
That's right.
And so one time, David found Saul in the cave sleeping and went and cut off his garment. Then when Saul woke up, David was swinging his garment. See, my Lord, I could have killed you. And then Saul broke down and said, look, you're righteous, David, and I have sinned. The Lord hath made thee king. But now, David still, after Saul was trying to kill him, was mourning for him, because David was a righteous man. Then David took hold of his clothes and rent them.
And likewise all the men that were with him.
Go ahead.
And they mourned and wept and fasted until eve. For Saul and for Jonathan his son.
Go ahead.
And for the people of the Lord. And for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword. And David said unto the young man that told him, whence art thou? And he...
Look, he asked him again, man, who did you say you were? And David said unto him, young man, thou told him, whence art thou?
And he answered, I am the son of a stranger.
Now look, he said, I am a son of a stranger, which means he was an Amalekite, which means he was with the children, which he said he was in the camp of the children of Israel. Well, I thought the Lord didn't, the children of Israel didn't deal with strangers. But here this guy is said he was in the camp of Israel. Not only that, here he is coming to David, which is an Israelite. But he should have kept going, though. He should have kept going, look. Or he should have just told the truth. Go ahead and read.
I am the son of a stranger and an Amalekite.
Go ahead.
And David said unto him, how wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thine hand to destroy the Lord's anointed?
How were you not afraid to stretch forth your hand against the Lord's anointed? Because even David himself, after Saul was trying to kill him, said, I would not put my hand against the Lord's anointed. So he's like, man, why weren't you afraid to stretch forth your hand against the Lord's anointed? Go ahead, verse 15.
And David called one of his young men and said, go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died.
Woo! Say, man, come here, kill this dude. And he smote him that he died. Verse 16, go ahead.
And David said unto him, thy blood be upon thy head. For thy mouth have testified against thee.
Thy mouth have testified against thee. See, your mouth can get you in trouble. Your mouth can get you killed. This guy was lying all the time, and it got him killed. Thy mouth have testified against thee,
saying, I have slain the Lord's anointed.
Saying, I have slain, which he didn't. He lied about that and got himself killed. See how your mouth can get you killed? Now, if he had just told the truth, then he would still, David probably would have gave him a new change of clothes and fed him and everything. Probably sent him on his way. Malachi, get out of here. But still, no. But your mouth can get you killed. Let's go to Proverbs, the 6th chapter. Proverbs 6. Because like I told you earlier, 6 things the Lord hates, 7 are abomination unto him. And look at what he's going to say. Proverbs, the 6th chapter, we're going to pick it up at verse 16. Proverbs 6 and 16. Go ahead and read.
These 6 things doeth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him.
What's second on the list? Go ahead and read.
A proud look. A lying tongue.
A lying tongue. Look what's second on the list. A proud look and a lying tongue. The Lord hates this. This is an abomination to him. Go ahead and read.
And hands that shed innocent blood.
Now you better pay attention. People better pay attention to this. You going around killing people for nothing. He said this is an abomination to him, and hands that shed innocent blood. Don't think we ain't gonna get away with killing people, innocent people. They're not gonna get away with it, because this is an abomination to the Lord, and the Lord is gonna do something about this. What did he say, verse 17? Go ahead.
A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood.
Go ahead.
And heart that devises wicked imagination.
Wait a minute, stop right there. A mind that devises wicked imaginations. He always got something wicked on his mind and performing it. Said, and a heart that devises wicked imaginations.
Feet that be swift in running to mischief.
Because see, he thought wicked first, then he ran to go do it. Go ahead and read.
19.
A
false witness that speaketh lies. And he that soweth discord among brothers.
See, he said that false witness, he said that twice. He said a false witness that speaketh lies. That's the same thing that he said in verse 17. A proud look and a lying tongue. So he said this twice. A false witness that speaketh lies,
And he that soweth discord among brothers.
And he that soweth discord among, that talebearer is right there. That tattler. He that soweth discord among brethren. That talebearer is, that tattler. Let's go now. Let's go to James, the 3rd chapter. James 3. Because I told you we're going to get back to him in a minute. That tattler, that talebearer. James 3 and 13. James 3 and verse 13. When you get it, Rob, go ahead and start reading.
Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation.
Let him show out what?
Of a good conversation.
A good conversation. A good conversation. Go ahead.
His works with meekness of wisdom. But if ye have bitter envy and strife in your hearts, glory not.
He said, but look at that now. He said, slow down a little bit. But if you have bitter envy and strife in your heart, because a lot of times this is what people's problems are. They got envy on their heart or on their mind, or they looking to start some strife. They looking to start some mess, in other words. You know, because they envious of somebody, they jealous of somebody. But if you have bitter envy and strife in your heart, glory not, and lie not against the truth. Go ahead and read.
15. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish.
This is devilish. You know, you got an envy and strife on your heart, on your mind. This is earthly, sensual, devilish. Go ahead and read.
For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work.
Go ahead.
But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to entreat.
Now see, you know, people can always come to you and talk to you. You understand? They're not afraid to come talk to you, and they're not afraid of what you're going to say out your mouth. You'll easily be entreated. You know, don't be mean all the time. You know, some people got it coming, but most times, most people don't. Most people are good people. So therefore, you should be a person that is easily entreated. People can come to you and talk to you. You understand? Amen. As a servant of God. Not you always flaring up at them all the time, or flaring up at somebody all the time. Strife and confusion all the time. He said, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated.
Full of mercy and good fruits.
Full of mercy and good fruits.
Without partiality. And without hypocrisy.
And without hypocrisy. You're not a hypocrite all the time. Verse 18, go ahead.
And the fruit of the righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace.
Now. Let's go to Leviticus, the 19th chapter. Leviticus 19. We're going to deal with this talebearer a little bit. Leviticus 19, and we're going to pick it up at verse 16. Leviticus 19 and 16. See, that's the type of person I strive to be. You understand? I know people get me upset sometimes, but I strive to be a person that's easy to be entreated. You know, slow to anger, slow to wrath. I strive to be that person. But it's like people, people, they manage somehow to push my buttons sometimes, you know? Not all the time, but sometimes people just push my buttons. I want to be nice and, and comfortable and peaceable and all of that. I want to be that. That's what I want to be. But people have a way, they take your kindness for weakness, and that's what people have been doing to me. They take my kindness for weakness. And therefore, they think they can say anything to me. Not everyone, I'm just talking about some people. They take my kindness for weakness, so they think they can say things to me. But anyway, Leviticus 19 and 16. Leviticus 19 and 16. Go ahead and read it.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
Now see, we're going to find, what is this talebearer? What is that? He said, thou shalt go not up and down as a talebearer among thy people. We're going to read, what is a talebearer? We're going to read this down. We're coming right back here. We're going to start at verse 16 again. What is a talebearer, Rob?
Talebearer, one who carries gossip.
One, that's it, right? One who carries gossip. He's always in somebody else's business, or she's always in somebody else's business and running back and telling it. That's a talebearer. You got to learn how to bridle this tongue. There's a lot of aspects that the Bible talks about when it comes to bridling this tongue. And that is one of them, a talebearer. Always in somebody's business and always going back telling somebody's business. Go ahead and read verse 16 again.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy mind. You know how it is. You get into it with a guy, and then next thing, man, y'all need to shake and make up. Man, y'all been friends for 20 years, man. Y'all gonna let this come between y'all? Then you shake hands with him, and then one guy thinking, yeah, I'm gonna get him next week, though.
Right.
I know where he's gonna be and everything. I'm gonna get him. Ain't nobody gonna be around. He didn't forgive his brother in his heart. The Lord noticed, man. That's why he said, when you forgive him, man, you forgive him in your heart, in your mind. Go ahead and read.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Let's go now. Let's go to Proverbs, the 26th chapter. Proverbs 26. Proverbs 26. Looks like it's about to storm out there. Proverbs 26. Maybe I should have waited till the lesson was over. Proverbs 26. And we're going to pick it up at verse 20. Proverbs 26 and 20. When you get it, brother, go ahead and read. Proverbs 26 and 20. Go ahead.
Where no wood is, there the fire goeth out.
See, where the wood is, the fire goes out. That's going to explain to you what he's talking about. Go ahead and read.
So where there is no talebearer, the strife ceaseth.
Where there is no talebearer, the strife ceaseth. See, once you stop, if you tell somebody something and it stops right there, that person right there, the strife ceaseth. But if a person is a talebearer, you tell them something, it's going to be all around the neighborhood. He's going to be telling them, that's a talebearer. He's going to go all around the neighborhood telling them. Then that person talebearer, they're going to go and tell it. Then that person they going to go and tell it. But where no wood is, the fire goes out. If you stop it right there, then that's where it's going to cease at right there. The strife going to cease. You know how we say now? We say, look, let's squash it. That's supposed to be it. Right there. When you say let's squash it, that means that's it. Does anybody understand what I'm saying now? Amen. When I say squash it? That's supposed to be it. What verse you at?
21.
Go ahead and read.
As coals are burning coals, and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife. The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly.
See, that's what I say. You say something about the wrong, say the wrong thing to a person. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Yes, they do. Words hurt. Names, somebody call you the wrong name, you're going to get hurt. You be ready to fight. Go ahead and read.
Burning lips and a wicked heart.
See that? Burning lips. He can't keep his mouth shut. He got burning lips. Burning lips and a wicked heart.
Are like a potsherd covered with silver dross.
Go ahead.
He that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaketh fair, believe him not.
See, when he speaketh fair, believe him not. He might be talking some good things. It might sound good to the ear, but he said, don't believe him. Go ahead and read.
For there are 7 abominations in his heart.
Look, he got a dagger right behind his hand. Because he's going to tell you one thing, smooth things over with you and sound good, but then he's stabbing you in the back. A talebearer. Go ahead and read.
Whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be shown before the whole congregation.
His wickedness shall be shown before the whole congregation. Let's go now. Let's go to Psalms 34. Psalms 34. Psalms 34, we're going to pick up at verse 13. Psalms 34 and 13. Psalms 34 and 13. Go ahead and read it.
Keep thy tongue from evil, and thy lips from speaking guile.
Go ahead. Speaking guile, that means speaking deceit, lies and deceit. That's what that speaking guile means. Start that over.
Keep thy tongue from evil, and thy lips from speaking guile.
Go ahead.
Depart from evil, and do good. Seek peace, and pursue it. The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry.
Go ahead.
The face of the Lord is against them that do evil, to cut them off from the remembrance of them from the earth.
Go ahead.
The righteousness cry.
The righteous cry,
and the Lord heareth.
And the Lord heareth them. The righteous cry. And the Lord heareth,
and delivereth them out of all their troubles.
And delivereth them out of all their troubles. See, that's why you want to have a good, wholesome tongue. A good, wholesome tongue. Because the Lord will hear you and deliver you out of all of your woes.
Amen.
And all of your troubles. Let's go now. Let's go to 2 Chronicles, the 20th chapter, and look at this. 2 Chronicles 20. Let's look at this. 2 Chronicles. Now, Jehoshaphat was a righteous man. Right? And so now he's getting ready to cry to the Lord for the people. And look what happened. 2 Chronicles. Because the Lord will make a way out of no way.
Amen.
He will make a way out of no way. You be at your wit's end. You, Lord, throw your hands up in the air. Lord, I don't know what to do. Next thing you know, here he comes.
Amen.
And I'm going to give you a testimony. A sister was calling me out of town and telling me about how her neighbors were drug dealers and threatening her and her family and everything. She called me on the phone. We prayed over the phone, and I prayed for her when I was by myself, and I know she prayed for her family. Next thing you know, she called me on the phone, Brother Rodney. The neighbor has sold that house.
Amen.
And those people gotta go.
Amen.
Pray to the Lord, he made a way out of no way. Because I know she was at her wit's end. I was feeling for her. And next thing you know, the owner had to sell the house. Not do he want to, he thinking about it. He had to sell it.
Amen.
Right? Or lose it. Next thing you know, he done quick deeded to somebody. And next thing you know, they got to go. See how the Lord worked out it? Let's give the Lord a hand.
Amen.
The Lord worked it out for that sister. And I am so glad for her because she's such a sweet sister.
My Lord.
She's such a good sister. Now, we're at 2 Chronicles 20, and we're going to pick it up in verse 1. 2 Chronicles 20 and 1. Go ahead and read it.
It came to pass after this also that the children of Moab and the children of Ammon, and with their others beside the Amorites, came against Jehoshaphat to battle. Then there came some that told Jehoshaphat, saying, There cometh a great multitude against thee from beyond the sea on this side Syria. Syria. And behold, they be in Hazatamara, which is in Engedi. And Jehoshaphat feared and set himself to seek the Lord and proclaimed a fast throughout all Judah.
Ooh, you see what he did? He hesitated. He just went to seek the Lord. And Jehoshaphat feared and set himself to seek the Lord and proclaim a fast throughout all Judah. He proclaimed a fast. He wanted to get the Lord's attention. Sometimes you got to get the Lord's attention. And you get the Lord's attention by praying and fasting.
Amen.
So now, because these people coming out against him, look, somebody else coming out against him too. We're going to read a little bit in a minute. But go ahead and read. What verse 4? What does it say?
And Judah gathered themselves together to ask help of the Lord. Even out of all the cities of Judah, they came to seek the Lord.
All of them came to seek the Lord out of Judah. Skip to verse 15. Go ahead and read it.
15. And he said, Hearken ye, all Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem, and thou king Jehoshaphat, thus saith the Lord unto you, Be not afraid, nor dismayed by reason of the great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but God's.
Ooh, the battle is not yours. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the multitude, because the eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry, and he delivers them out of what? All their troubles. So he said, look, don't be afraid by reason of the great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but God's. Go ahead and read.
16. Tomorrow we go down against them. Behold, they come up by the cliff of Ziz, and ye shall find them at the end of the brook, before the wilderness of Jeruel. Ye shall not need to fight in this battle.
He said, you shall not need to fight in this battle. Go ahead and read.
Set yourselves, stand ye still, and see the salvation of the Lord with you.
Y'all just stand still. Y'all don't have to fight. Just stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Because like I said, the Lord make a way out of no way. I know Jehoshaphat, what is the Lord going to do? Go ahead and read.
O Judah and Jerusalem, fear not, nor be dismayed.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow go out against them, for the Lord will be with you.
Go ahead.
And Jehoshaphat bowed his head with his face to the ground, and all Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before the Lord, worshiping the Lord. And the Levites of the children of Kohathites, and the children of the Kohathites stood up and praised the Lord God of Israel with a loud voice on high.
Go ahead.
And they rose early in the morning and went forth unto the wilderness of Kitoah. And as they went forth, Jehoshaphat stood and said, Hear me, O Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in the Lord your God.
Believe in the Lord your God.
So shall ye be established. Believe his prophets, so shall ye prosper.
He said, believe in the Lord your God, so shall you be established. Believe in his prophets, so shall you prosper. Now look at what happened. Go ahead and read.
21.
Uh-huh.
And when he had consulted with his people, he appointed singers unto the Lord,
Uh-huh.
and that they should praise the beauty of holiness.
Now look, he appointed singers. Lord had him tell them before, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Now he appointed singers. You mean singers to go out to battle? No. These singers going to stand there and sing and praise the Lord while the Lord take care of the business.
Amen.
Go ahead and read.
That they should praise the beauty of holiness
Uh-huh.
as they went out before the army.
Go ahead.
And to say, praise the Lord, for his mercy endureth forever.
Uh-huh.
And when they began to sing and to praise, the Lord set ambushments against the children of Ammon, Moab,
Uh-huh.
and Mount Seir.
Now look, he said ambushment against Ammon and Moab. There's Mount Seir, Israel's twin brother. By the way, these are Israel's cousins right here. And Mount Seir is his twin brother. Because you know, this is Moab and Ammon, that's Lot's children, which is Abraham's nephew. So these are relatives of the children of Israel. All three of these are relatives of the children of Israel. And one is his twin brother, Mount Seir. Go read that verse 22 again.
And when they began to sing and to praise, the Lord set ambushments against the children of Ammon,
Uh-huh.
Moab, and Mount Seir,
Uh-huh.
which were come against Judah, and they were smitten.
Go ahead.
For the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir.
Stop right there. You see that? The Lord calls the children of Ammon and Moab to go against Mount Seir. The Lord make a way out of no way. Now these two brothers, Ammon and Moab, are fighting against Israel's brother, Mount Seir. But remember, all of them came up against Israel. Now they look, Ammon and Moab looking at Mount Seir, man, we don't like you. What you doing here? And start fighting against Mount Seir. And what happened? Verse 23 again.
For the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir,
Uh-huh.
utterly to slay and destroy them.
Utterly to slay and destroy them. Uh-huh.
And when they had made an end of the inhabitants of Seir,
Uh-huh.
everyone hoping to destroy another.
Everyone helped to destroy another. So Moab and Ammon start fighting against each other. First, Ammon and Moab killed Mount Seir, which is Esau, or the Edomite. Then they turned on each other. Moab and Ammon, these are brothers, turned on each other and started killing each other. Lord had the children of Israel, they just standing there singing. Didn't have to do nothing. But look, now then they're going to come get the spoils of war. Go ahead, read.
And when Judah came toward the watchtower in the wilderness, they looked into the multitude, and behold, there were dead bodies fallen to the earth.
Verse 25, what does that say?
And none escaped.
None escaped. Verse 25, what does it say?
And when Jehoshaphat and his people came to take away the spoil of them,
See, that's all they had to do was come get the booty. Come get the spoils of war. They didn't have to fight, just sing. Go ahead and read.
they found among them in an abundance both riches with dead bodies and precious jewels. And they stripped off for themselves more than they could carry away.
See, they took off more than they could carry. Finish that.
And they were 3 days in gathering of the spoils. It was so much.
Man, look, the Lord not only killed their enemies, but they left rich after killing their enemies. Let's go now. Let's go to Psalm 101. Psalm 101. We ain't got long. We don't have long to go. Psalm 101, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Psalm 101 and 1. Now we're going to deal a little bit with the slanderer. Psalm 101 and 1. Go ahead and read. You know the slanderer, the one always talking about people wrongfully, lying on people. That's the slanderer. Go ahead and read. Psalm 101 and 1. Go ahead.
I will sing of mercies and judgment.
Uh-huh.
Unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way.
Uh-huh.
And
And this, because this is how the Lord wants. He wants you to behave yourself in a perfect way. You understand? We know that we all are striving for this, for perfection, but still, we have to continue to strive. So he said, I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. Go ahead and read.
Oh, when wilt thou come unto me?
Uh-huh.
I will walk within my house with a perfect heart.
Skip to verse 4. Skip to verse 4. Go ahead.
A forward heart shall depart from me.
This is a forward heart. This is a mean-spirited person. You understand? He said, a forward heart shall depart from me. Uh-huh.
I will not know a wicked person.
I will not know a wicked person. Go ahead and read.
Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor.
Uh-huh. Whoso privately slander his neighbor. Uh-huh.
Him will I cut off.
Look, he's not going about telling everybody slandering nobody. He privately doing it. He might tell one or two people. Privately slandering his neighbor. He said he shall be cut off. Uh-huh.
Him that hath an high look and a proud heart.
Uh-oh, there go that proud heart again. Because this is one of the things one of the 7 things that the Lord hates right here. A proud look and a lying tongue. Go ahead and read.
Him that hath a high look and a proud heart
Uh-huh.
will not I suffer.
Go ahead.
My eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land,
Uh-huh.
that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me.
He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. That's the one that's going to serve me. Let's go now. Let's go to Proverbs 10. Proverbs 10, and we're going to pick it up at verse 18. Proverbs 10 and 18. Proverbs 10 and 18. When you get it, brother, start reading.
He that hideth hatred with lying lips,
Uh-huh.
and he that uttereth a slander is a fool.
He's a what?
Fool.
A fool. A slanderer is a fool. You know, always going around scandalizing people's names. That's a slanderer. Lying on people all the time. He that hideth hatred with lying lips. See, he don't tell you one way. I'd rather for you to know if you hate me or not. I'd rather know. You understand? I don't want no surprise attacks. He said, he that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a fool. Go ahead and read.
In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin,
Uh-huh.
but he that refraineth his lips is wise.
He that refraineth his lips is wise. Let's go to Ecclesiastes now. Ecclesiastes 5, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Right on over to the next book, Ecclesiastes 5 and 1. Ecclesiastes 5 and 1. We're going to ask everybody to mute your phones. Ecclesiastes 5 and 1. Go ahead and read.
Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools.
Uh-huh.
For they consider not that...
You see that? He said, be ready to hear when you go in the house of God. Be ready to hear. You understand? And that's what you're supposed to do when you come to the house of the Lord. You're supposed to be ready to hear. You're supposed to be ready to learn something. And the only way you're going to learn something is you open up your ears to hear. Put the cotton in your mouth, or take the cotton out your ears and put it in your mouth. And listen. What verse you at? Go ahead.
1.
Uh-huh.
Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God,
Uh-huh.
and be more ready to hear
Uh-huh.
than to give the sacrifice of fools.
Because see, you don't want to be no fool. You do not want to be a fool. Go ahead, because you run your mouth all the time, and you might be a fool. Go ahead and read.
For they consider not that they do evil.
Uh-huh.
Be not rash with thy mouth.
Go ahead.
And
See, don't let everything come out of your mouth. You know, don't just say anything. Don't be rash with your mouth. Everything coming out of your mouth. You're a servant of God. Go ahead and read.
And let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God.
See, because that's where it started. It started right here, in your heart. Then it comes out of your mouth. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything before God. Go ahead and read.
For God is in heaven, and thou upon the earth. Therefore, let thy words be few.
Ooh. We all can take this advice right here.
Amen.
Let thy words be few.
For a dream cometh through the multitude of busyness, and a fool's voice is known by multitudes of words.
Haven't you ever noticed that? The person always talking, always. You just say, man, I'm going to be quiet. They always talking. Now, I didn't say it now. Brother Rob read it. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by what? Multitude of words. Always talking. Can't never shut up. Man, would you be quiet and let me say something? Go ahead, read.
For when thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it.
Go ahead.
For he hath no pleasure in fools.
He just called a fool out, isn't he? Go ahead and read.
Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better it is that thou shouldest not vow, than that shouldest vow and not pay.
See, so don't bow to God if you can't pay it. So it's best that you don't bow. But you see that advice he's giving you? That wisdom he's giving you? It's best that you don't make a vow. Let's go to James. Let's go to James 1, and we're going to pick it up at verse 19. James 1 and 19, and it is freezing in here. James 1 and 19. I'm sorry. I don't mean to complain, but it is freezing up here. I need me a sweater on. James 1 and 19. It's either too hot in here or too cold in here. James 1 and 19. Go ahead and read.
Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak,
go ahead,
slow to wrath.
See, this is what a servant of God is supposed to be. He's supposed to be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. Because that is a good quality to have, to listen. That is a good quality to have.
Amen.
And slow to speak. Don't just let your words flow off of your tongue. Just say, be rash with your mouth. Anything come out of your mouth. Think about things before you say it. I remember I used to dream, man. I was back in high school. And my teacher would come to me. I mean, this is a reoccurring dream. Mr. Shelley used to come to me and say, Rodney, think before you speak. And I would wake up. I mean, this happened so many times, a reoccurring dream.
I saw him on the bus.
And you did. So I guess that was, in a way, because we could be standing right there on the steps in the school, and he would say, Rodney, think before you speak. We could be in the classroom, and he'd teach, and he would say, Rodney, think before you speak. And I would wake up. And that's what I learned to do. In most cases, because I'm not going to sit here and say I'm perfect. In most cases, I think before I speak. Well, go ahead and read. What verse you at?
20. For the wrath of men worketh not the righteousness of God. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with the meekness and the engrafted word, which is able to save your soul.
Go ahead.
But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
Go ahead.
For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass.
Go ahead.
For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
So he said, don't be a hearer of the word, be a doer. Just a hearer of the word, but be a doer as well. And the way that you're gonna be a hearer and a doer of the word is for you to keep this mouth closed and listen. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. Go ahead and read, verse 25.
But whoso looketh unto the perfect law of liberty.
Stop right there, you see that? The perfect law of liberty. Whoso looketh into the perfect law. Now, what is this doing here? If the law is done away with, why do we tell you to be looking into it? If it's done away with it. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein. Look at that. I thought the law was done away with. Go ahead and read.
He being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the word.
Because the more you hear this, the more you're going to do it, and you're not going to forget it. You don't forget to keep the Sabbath. That's because you keeping it already. You heard it and you're doing it. Go ahead and read.
This man shall be blessed in his deeds.
If
If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue,
and you don't bridle your tongue, go ahead and read.
but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain.
This man's religion is vain. So you have to learn how to bridle this tongue. You got to have some constraints on this tongue. Let's go now. Let's go to Ephesians, the 4th chapter, Ephesians 4. And we're going to pick it up at verse 29. Ephesians 4 and 29. When you get it, Rob, go ahead and read it.
Let no corrupt communication proceedeth out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. He
said, don't let no corrupt communication come out of your mouth. Let's go now. Let's go to Colossians, the 3rd chapter, Colossians 3. Colossians 3, and we're going to pick it up at verse 3. Colossians 3 and 3. You know, we have to be reminded of these things as servants of God, man.
Okay.
Got to be reminded of this. And I know I do. People be getting on my nerve. They think they can say anything they want to say to me. You're a pastor. You ain't supposed to be saying it. All right. You telling people I ain't got there all the way yet. Colossians, I'm trying. I want to be there. Colossians 3 and 3. Colossians 3 and 3. Go ahead and read it.
For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Christ in God. When Christ, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory.
Go ahead.
Mortify therefore your members.
Mortify your members,
which are upon the earth. Fornication, uncleanliness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. For which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience. In the which ye also walked sometime when ye lived in them. But now ye also put off all these.
Now this is what I really want you to see right here. He said, but now ye also put off all of these. Go ahead.
Anger, wrath, malice,
go ahead.
blasphemy,
go ahead.
filthy communication out of your mouth.
Filthy communication out of your mouth. And then he said, put away these. Anger, wrath, malice. You know what? Malice, that means you mean all the time. You understand? Then he said, blasphemy. Filthy communication out of your mouth. That means cussing all the time. You know, you saying something bad about somebody all the time. Filthy communication out of your mouth. Let's go now. Let's go to Psalms 32. We got one more. Psalms 32. And we're going to pick it up at verse 8. Psalms 32 and verse 8. Psalms 32 and verse 8. When you get it, brother, go ahead and read it.
I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go.
I
will guide thee with mine eye.
Go ahead.
Be not as the horse,
He said, don't be as the horse,
or as the mule,
or as the mule,
which have no understanding.
See, they don't have no understanding, so don't be like them. Service of God, don't be like the horse or the mule, which don't have no understanding. Go ahead and read.
Whose mouth must be held within the bit and the bridle.
See, that's how their mouths have to be held, within the bit and the bridle. See, your mouth, you have to bridle your tongue. So he said, don't be like the horse and the mule, because their mouths have to be bridled. So don't be like them. Your tongue has to be bridled all the time, because you saying anything out of your mouth. Read that verse again.
Be as not as the horse or the mule, or as the mule, which have no understanding.
Go ahead.
Whose mouth must be held in with the bit and bridle, lest they come near unto thee.
Go ahead.
Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusteth in the Lord, mercy shall compass him about.
So he said, if you don't know, you run your mouth all the time and say it, you just like the horse or the mule that's got to be bridled. That mouth. Let's go now. This is going to be last. Psalm 19 and 14. This is what you want to come before the Lord and say. Psalm 19 and verse 14. Psalm 19 and verse 14. When you get it, brother, go ahead and read.
Let the words of my mouth
Let the words of my mouth,
and the meditation of my heart be accepted in the sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer.
Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer.
Amen.
And this is what we need to go to the Lord. This is how we should go to the Lord as service of God. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. Thank you.